Hunter. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. I'm going to go ahead and get started with our church announcements. They don't want that. So, UUCA is going more green. Instead of paper towels, we will now be using washcloths to dry our hands in the bathroom. When you're done drying your hands, please put the towels in the garbage as we did with paper towels. When the supply is depleted, we will take the resulting full garbage back home and clean them. This should help us save money and help our precious planet. Every little bit helps. So Mondays at 7 p.m., UU Meditation Group will meet in person. Wednesdays at 7 p.m., UU Meditation Group will meet online. First Sundays, including today, 12 p.m., Life Faith Formation classes will be held. Adults will meet in the sanctuary, kids in the kids' room. On Thursday, May 8th at 6:30 p.m., 18:30 for my military people, there will be a potluck, a pagan potluck. Thursday, May 22nd at 6:30 p.m., 18:30, the Vine Christian Caucus Group will meet. May 25th at 12:05, the Good Trouble Team meets in the sanctuary. And on May 25th at 1 p.m., we will have our monthly board meeting. So if you want to come for a good time and see some lively discussion, come to the board meeting. They can be like kind of fun sometimes. And on May 30th at 7:30 p.m., our final Friday jazz concert featuring our musician Josef Patchen trio and Creative Impressions will play here for our final series of the year. So please come and visit. Get your tickets at uuaugusta.org. Due to carpet staining, no drinks are allowed in the sanctuary except for bottled water. Services will begin shortly, and thank you all for coming.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Augusta, whose mission is to create a beloved community guided by reason, compassion, and respect, empowering us to promote a more just society. I'm your worship host for today. I'm Cheryl Martin, she, her pronouns. Today, I'm very happy, especially with the Star Wars theme today, to be co-creating this service with Reverend Nic, our choir, led by our wonderful music director, Josef Patchen, the amazing folks and talented folks running our tech deck, and all of you, whether you're here in person or coming to us via Zoom. Out of respect for others and in the interest of creating sacred space, Please take a moment to silence any phones or other devices. And as I say that, I'm going to double check and practice what I preach over here.
Practice what you preach.
Mm-hmm, exactly, yeah. True that. I'd like to welcome any first-time visitors or new people. Please feel free to join us after the service in the common room for refreshments and conversation. Existing members will know who you are by either the red or the green name tags. The green name tags, of course, mean, yes, please talk to me. I'd like to get to know you right away. Red is, yes, please talk to me, but give me more time before I get to know you. Whether you're here in person or coming to us on Zoom, I welcome you now into this time of our service. Thank you.
Hit it, Joseph. A long, long time ago, no galaxies existed at all. For all we know, there was nothing. But then, in a moment of sheer awfulness, with a great and powerful force, nothing at all became everything. The universe kicked off its continuous expansion. Galaxies were born, stars were born. Over the eons that followed, some of those stars died in explosive fashion, a death which, like many others, was necessary for life. For the elemental ingredients necessary for life were then liberated, freed to travel millions of parsecs, light years, establishing planets, some of which produced water, vegetable, animal, human. We are all born of star stuff, imago stella. No wonder humans have been in wonder about stars ever since. They have guided perilous journeys, provided light in the midst of darkness, helped establish best planting and harvesting seasons. Stars have been at the heart of many of humankind's most important scientific, technological, and mathematical progress, including as a renewable source of energy from stars like our very own sun. Stars are also a final frontier, excuse me for mixing up franchises. A nebulous destination, so to speak, which could be a guiding light toward justice on earth as it is in the heavens. Yet a frontier which also requires great care as we humans plot technological and scientific progress well ahead of the curve in the arc of our moral universe. Regardless, the life-giving spark of stars, like our chalice, is a beacon in good times and bad. May the small fire produced here right now, like the stars which inspired and literally birthed the content of its flame, continue to move us forward in creative and imaginative ways, never leaving love behind.
Would you rise and bow to your spirit for our opening hymn, number 27, I Am That Great and Fiery Force.
Good morning. My name is Pat Lynn Chase, and I'm a member of the pastoral care team. As is our practice, this is the time in our service when we invite those who've had joys or sorrows come into their lives recently and want.
Now is the moment in our service where we are as intentional as we can be about being present with our bodies, with our thoughts, with our feelings, with those around us, with the ground beneath us. I invite you to do whatever it is that you need to do to be as grounded and as present as possible. If that means closing your eyes or clasping your hands or bowing your head, having a straight back, feet on the floor, whatever works for you so that you're comfortable and present. Today I thought I'd do something a little different than normal and share a short quote from Star Wars with you. In The Last Jedi, General Leia Organa says, "Hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you see it, you'll never make it through the night." As we enter an extended period of silence, I invite you to reflect on what that phrase might mean to you in this current moment of history. May it be so and blessed be. Y'all, we announced a 2-to-1 match up to $5,000 last Sunday, as one final push in our pledge drive. And you showed up. We met the match almost immediately. Yeah. And now we have a total pledge amount for next fiscal year of $198,770. This is about, This is about $2,000 more than last year's total, with more total pledging units. More people pledged this year. With that news, our pledge season is now closed. I didn't write this here, but I should have. Let's applaud the stewardship committee for the work they did. At this point, we hope you'll set up auto pay to meet your pledge next year. You can do this through Realm or through your own bank's bill pay. I recently set up monthly auto payments for my family's new pledge amount through Realm, the payments of which will begin on July 1st. Importantly, I didn't set an end date for my auto payments. This is in line with the continuing stewardship strategy to move toward depending on ongoing support, which doesn't reset with each new fiscal year. Instead of asking for everybody's fresh pledge each year, we'll focus on asking for increases and helping new pledgers get set up during future pledge drives. This means we'll have to be very intentional, we as a church, as staff, as committees, and the board have to be very intentional about connecting with each of you more throughout the year. The Stewardship Committee, along with Nic Filzen and I, are already setting plans in motion to do so in hopefully meaningful and relational ways. You can also set up automatic payments for regular offering, which we will receive in a moment. You can do so through the text to give information about to appear on the screens or, again, in your Realm account. Of course, cash and checks are also gratefully received. Thank you to everyone here who pledged throughout the last few months. You all make our shared mission toward beloved community possible. Yes, we did reach for the stars with our pledge goal this year. We may not have reached that original financial goal, yet when we are together in spirit and purpose, the stars may still be within reach. Would the ushers please come forward? We thank you for your generosity. I'm a little annoyed. I'm annoyed because there's a bit of a war for the stars happening right now. A small space skirmish between some of the most immoral, unethical, unlikable people in the galaxy. No, I'm not talking about epic battles pitting a small band of X-Wings against TIE fighters, Star Destroyers, and the Death Star, though that's not a bad metaphor. I'm talking about the privatization of space travel. As space travel is privatized, it has become just another playground for the super wealthy. Folks like Bezos, Musk, and the least worst of them, Richard Branson, are offering brief trips into orbit or suborbit, seemingly for the delight of slightly less super wealthy. Meanwhile, as you may or may not know, there are a lot of problems right here on Earth all that money spent on these ego trips could alleviate. Cold-hearted Musk, who already has thousands of satellites polluting the night skies, also wants to terraform and colonize Mars. He says we can do it in 3 years. I can't think of a less imaginative and colder, literally much colder, option to address Earth's existential problems than shooting for a planet B, further away from our mutual neighborhood star. A far-fetched plan only just possible, and only for the super rich. As renowned astrophysicist Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson says, quote, "There are people who want to colonize other planets. We trashed Earth, let's move elsewhere and hope we don't trash that. There's a chance we could terraform Mars." My favorite word of the past few decades, he says. You turn something that's not like Earth into something that's like Earth. Then you just move there. So here's the catch. If you have the power of geoengineering to turn Mars into Earth, then you have the power of geoengineering to turn Earth back into Earth. End quote. We see this exact scenario in the Christopher Nolan movie Interstellar. Yes, I'll be talking about all the sci-fi today. Dr. Tyson raves about this movie because it basically gets the science parts right. Plus, it's a beautiful story and the cinematography and music are stunning. If you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. Yet again, though, Tyson critiques the resources used in that movie to leave Earth, which likely could have fixed the global blight on crops caused by climate change. Multiple times in his podcast, Star Talk, the only podcast I listen to regularly, he has made it clear he just can't wrap his genius mind and open heart around that option. Y'all, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because I've been dreaming of interstellar travel virtually my whole life. Inspired by movie and TV franchises like Star Wars and Star Trek, I've long imagined perhaps someday I'll get to travel at the speed of light, visit other planets, maybe meet intelligent alien life. But these oligarch wannabe emperors are ruining the dream. Their vain projects, both in space or not, have essentially already colonized what the idea of space travel has meant for so many for so long. Not surprisingly, with plainly phallic vehicles. Turning what should be a righteous endeavor into one rightfully critiqued by folks who are barely surviving here. If we're doing the space exploration thing, it cannot be for vanity. I know I'm being idealistic here, but if we're heading out of town, way out of town, it should be about the journey itself, not another place to conquer. It should be relational and not individualistic. It should increase our appreciation and love of our own planet, which has always been home. Not leave it behind, along with all the folks who can't afford to leave. The movie District 9 comes to mind. Again, if you haven't seen it. Science fiction authors and creators and movie filmmakers have long inspired dreams of reaching the wider universe, of returning to the stars from whence all life, including humanity, originated. Folks like Rod Serling, Ursula K. Le Guin, Ray Bradbury, and Isaac Asimov, all of whom were at least Unitarian Universalist adjacent, if not out and proud UUs. They all crafted astronomical narrative landscapes of and for the imagination. They were also masters at clearly illustrating the risk of returning to the stars, especially when humanity's real interest seems to be empire expansion. If humanity's morals and values are out of whack, as we make additional technological and scientific advancements, then we set the stage for disaster. A good friend of mine back in New York, named Brace, is a deep thinker and feeler. Brace was a church musician with me at the UU congregation of Shelter Rock. I distinctly recall a conversation we had on the LIRR train returning to Manhattan from Long Island one Sunday. He made the case that as a species, humans have made tremendous technological and intellectual gains over eons of evolution. Yet, he argued, our moral and ethical evolution has severely lagged behind. This is a dangerous disparity. I think the creators of the atom bomb would agree, sadly, after the fact. Another celebrated Christopher Nolan movie about the physicist Oppenheimer shows the cost of mimicking the destructive force of a star on Earth, not just on human bodies and the ecosystems in which we exist, in which we can exist, but also the human soul. And now I think we're at significant risk of continuing that advancement imbalance. As a guy like Musk, who's essentially leading the ego-driven way to space travel, has said, quote, the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. Talk about an imbalance in the force. For many reasons, the pervasive power of empire seems to be winning the day. I think we're kind of living in an episode 7 Empire Strikes Back moment. And yet, as you likely know, the story doesn't stop there. When you look at the bigger picture, if you keep watching, the same story about the complexity of life out among the stars can be a source of hope. The Star Wars Skywalker story arc, told over countless movies, books, and TV shows, is a very long one, told over decades, which illustrate the shared power possible when a small yet growing community of people leads with love and integrity. And keep fighting alongside their community and the force of goodness that surrounds them. They call that force the Force. These stories provide hope because they successfully subvert power. And these stories provide hope because they're still being written. The story, our story, is never complete, final, done, even when the future seems bleak, especially when the future seems bleak. Indigenous Americans have been masters in imagining fantastic yet subversive stories to elicit and hold hope ever since Europeans colonized this continent. Alternate narratives which loosen the hold European-born stories have over so much of Western culture and which point to the possibility present in kinship with others. There's a little bit too much alliteration there, sorry, I got caught up. And these stories are also in alignment with the flow of the universe toward goodness and love. Folks like one of my Earth heroes, Dr. Robin Wall Kimmerer, who we'll hear from if you attend adult faith formation class around noon today after worship is over and after folks have had a bit of time for fellowship. For all intents and purposes, we are all indigenous star people. Yet those same stars, which created the stuff, the carbon needed for us, also gave us the gift of Earth. A gift we have taken for granted, a gift we have squandered. We are both indigenous to Earth and the particular place on Earth where our ancestors were born. Ancestors who adapted and evolved in and through a specific place, climate, culture. Similarly, we are indigenous to the stars and the particular planet we are privileged to call home. Do you know the phrase, think globally, act locally? It applies to this larger framework too, I think. Think universally, not act globally. Or better yet, for today's purpose, imagine universally, act globally. Scientific exploration and technological advancement is important. I think we would all agree. As we've seen throughout human history, it's often in the stars where we can learn the most in those areas. And what can we learn from the stars and the stories they inspire about living well here on this earth together? May we someday reconnect with our star roots. May we get there and not be jerks to whatever new we encounter, realizing we are almost certainly kin of the stars. Until then, may our imaginations of galaxies far, far, far away help us be people of good faith, right here, right now. Blessed be.
Would you rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky.
To remain risen in body or spirit for one more moment, or spirit. The power of a star doesn't end after its final twinkle of light. Its impact continues. Producing a force of gravity to this point has only been imagined, sending the elements of life and ultimately love near and far. Likewise, the power of our chalice flame doesn't end when extinguished. Its impact continues. Its gravitas just getting started in us. As we depart this sacred moment, our imaginations hopefully inspired, and maybe just a little bit of hope in your soul, may we send life and love near and far. Blessed be.
you.